Have you ever been concerned that others might not like you? Do you struggle to make new friends or find one colleague particularly challenging? If you see yourself as someone who isn't naturally inclined to connect with people and want to change that, here are 9 practical tips from Dale Carnegie's book How to Win Friends and Influence People that can make you more likable right away. First, avoid criticizing, condemning, or complaining. Doing so often puts people on the defensive. People rarely self-criticize, even when they're clearly in the wrong. It's more common for them to justify their actions. This defensive behavior can be seen in many situations, like when families of offenders blame external factors rather than admitting any fault. A famous example is Bob Hoover, a renowned pilot who once landed a plane safely after both engines failed, only to discover that the mishap was due to a mechanic's mistake. Despite the gravity of the error, Hoover chose not to berate the mechanic but to show understanding, knowing that positive reinforcement encourages better learning and behavior. This approach can be far more effective than criticism. Second, offer genuine and sincere appreciation. One of the strongest human desires is to feel appreciated. People love receiving compliments and feeling valued. This desire drives people to achieve great things, from writing books to building businesses. Genuine expressions of thanks or admiration can significantly impact others' perceptions of you. Avoid empty flattery. Instead, be sincere in your praise. Reflect on what you genuinely admire about the person and communicate it honestly. Acknowledging someone's efforts or achievements can greatly enhance how they feel about you. The third tip is to appeal to another person's interest. Imagine your favorite food is cheesecake. Now, if you were going fishing, would you attach a piece of cheesecake to your fishing line? Of course not. You wouldn't catch any fish because you'd be focusing on what you like, not on what the fish prefer. Instead, you'd use bait like worms, insects, or smaller fish, which are more likely to attract them. The same principle applies when dealing with people. It's natural for everyone to focus on their own interests. We all have things we want. But the key to influencing others is to talk about what they want and show them how to achieve it. Everyone has something they care about deeply. Before you approach someone, ask yourself, what can this person gain from our interaction? Make it your goal to prioritize their needs and desires. In a world filled with self-centered individuals, being genuinely interested in helping others sets you apart and gives you a significant advantage. Andrew Carnegie demonstrated this in a bet with a friend. His sister-in-law's children never replied to letters, so he wagered that he could get them to write back without directly asking. How did he do it? He sent each child a letter and mentioned that he had included a $5 bill, though he didn't actually send the money. The result: each child wrote back thanking him and asking where their money was. By appealing to their interests, he won the bet. The fourth tip is to show a genuine interest in other people. Consider who is universally adored, seen as friendly, and always approachable: a dog. Dogs are always thrilled to see you because, in their eyes, you are the most important thing in the world. Similarly, when you show real interest in others, you make them feel like they're the most important person around. People naturally gravitate toward those who admire them just a bit more than others. However, it's important to remember that people aren't focused on you or me, they're focused on themselves. Their thoughts are mostly about their own lives and concerns. Think about the last group photo you were in. Whose face did you search for first? Your own. Making friends becomes easier when you take a genuine interest in others. It's much harder to make someone interested in you. If you want to show someone that you care, ask them about their background, their aspirations, their families, and their hobbies. Be the person who remembers their worries and complaints. If you find a solution that could help them, share it with them. Go out of your way to be especially helpful, even to people you might consider below your status, like an employee who doesn't directly report to you or service workers. For those in higher positions, show sincere interest in their expertise and listen attentively to their advice. Everyone enjoys feeling important, and when you give your full attention to someone as they share their thoughts or successes, you make them feel valued. Tip number 5 is smile. Smiling is a simple yet powerful gesture that conveys friendliness and warmth. It communicates to others that you are happy to see them and that you like them. A smile can make interactions more pleasant and can significantly improve your relationships. William B. Steinhardt, a New York stockbroker, practiced smiling more intentionally and noticed dramatic improvements in his life. He started his day by smiling at everyone he encountered, from his wife to colleagues and even strangers. This small change led to increased happiness in his personal life and enhanced success at work. People began to respond positively to him, leading to fewer complaints and greater financial success. The act of smiling not only makes you appear more approachable and likable, but also creates a more positive atmosphere for both you and those around you. The sixth tip is that the sweetest and most important sound in any language is a person's name. A person's name holds significant personal value. It represents their identity and individuality. Using someone's name in conversation shows that you are attentive and respectful. For those who struggle with remembering names, it's helpful to repeat the name several times during the conversation. For example, you might say, "Nice to meet you, John," then ask, "So John, what do you do for work?" And conclude with, "It was great to meet you, John." This technique helps reinforce the name in your memory and makes the other person feel valued. Remembering and using someone's name can help lower barriers and foster a sense of closeness and rapport. Tip 7 is be a good listener and encourage others to talk about themselves. People generally enjoy talking about their own experiences, interests, and opinions. By being a good listener, you show genuine interest and make others feel valued. Focus on listening more than speaking and ask open-ended questions that prompt the other person to share more about themselves. For instance, instead of asking, "Did you enjoy the event?" ask, "What was your favorite part of the event?" This encourages them to provide detailed responses. Active listening involves making eye contact, nodding, and giving verbal affirmations like "I see" or "That's interesting." These actions demonstrate that you are engaged in the conversation and appreciate what they have to say, creating a positive and memorable interaction. Tip 8 is talk in terms of the other person's interests. To make conversations more engaging, focus on topics that matter to the other person. This approach involves discovering what interests or passions they have and steering the discussion in that direction. For example, if you know someone is passionate about a particular sport, you might bring up a recent game or ask for their opinion on a related topic. This shows that you are considerate and attentive to their interests, which can make them feel more connected to you. By discussing topics they care about, you create a more enjoyable and meaningful conversation, fostering a stronger relationship. Tip 9 is let the other person do most of the talking. People generally enjoy discussing their own ideas and experiences. Allowing them to talk freely and actively listening can significantly improve how they perceive you. Encourage them to express their thoughts and feelings by asking questions and showing genuine interest in their responses. This approach is particularly effective when dealing with difficult individuals, as it helps them feel heard and validated. Imagine each time you let someone talk as adding a drop of water to a bottle. The more they talk and feel acknowledged, the more favorable their perception of you becomes. Avoid interrupting or dominating the conversation, as this can disrupt the rapport you're building. By letting the other person speak and genuinely listening, you increase the likelihood of a positive and agreeable interaction. Thank you for watching. Comment down the tip that you found interesting. If you enjoyed these 9 tips, do subscribe my channel and don't forget to like and share this video to your family and friends.